So I'm starting to think we need to get off the simulation and put our money to the works, guys, because we had another $45,000 day. Now, if you guys are just now joining us, remember we are on our journey of trading to a million. This is our 9th day trading, utilizing the same method I found day like 3 on how I'm trading. So I'll basically explain to you guys what we did and kind of go into these trades, but I am also tracking this on my performance tracker. We've started doing it a few days ago, and so far we had a $250,000 day a couple days ago. We had a $20,000 on Friday. On Thursday it was nuts, and then a $50,000. Now we were up 150 today, but we ended up getting pulled back on it. But all you have to do is you basically just submit this form. I made a form for it, and you just submit it every day, and it just tracks for you, so you can simple journal. But 44K on the day, and how did we do it? Let's kind of go through. I guess we'll just go through these trades, but it was wild. I was up 30,000 off my first trade like that, and then right around 9:30, it just started. It was really bad. Like PRST was was just crazy up, big swing high. So like, what time was this? So within like the first few minutes of the day. So where were we? About 9 a.m. So this is about where I was trading in it, and then I fell through this. I fell heavy through this. I don't believe, or actually, is this the? Yeah, this is the. Yeah, this is our day. So I don't think I may not have followed this. I was in 3 different trades today. I was in Presto Automatic. I was in CFRX. And then or black box stocks, and then winter. Now if you guys look at all of these, they're all trending down. You see it down at the end, down at the end. A lot of traders coming into the market, it looks like. That's a lot. It felt like a lot of volume today on pumps and pumps and pumps, and then they're in and out, and so you could feel the flushes kind of coming today. And so essentially what I'm doing, I've kind of explained this the past several days, is now I use the Awesome Oscillator, I use the MACD, I use RSI. Those are the 3 like I call them bottom indicators, and I'll kind of explain my movement and trajectory. I gave away too much. I got in a couple times when I wasn't trying, and then believe it or not, my mom called me and I lost 80 grand. I lost 80,000. I was just like, oh, and then buy. I'm not gonna trade ever if I'm ever on the phone ever again. I'll tell you that. That's the good thing about trading on this. But we were still up. We actually went negative. We went red for a short period, and we pulled it back on a last little scalp. But with the way I trade, so we can kind of see volume here as it dies. But basically, I've been kind of saying this is MACD. What I've been seeing is on the 1 minute chart is sometimes where the move starts to what happens is the volume kind of stays dead. It kind of stays steady, and then it will kind of do this little pull, like these little pulls right here, and then boom, it'll pump or bump. And so what I'm kind of seeing is kind of this inverse pattern of when it starts to consolidate, sell, you might have a shot, and then when you buy, you might have a dump. And so I'm kind of seeing that stuff. Now, it's not always so perfect here because you can kind of see this one's back and forth, and then this one's kind of reverses. You can see how it's kind of sell, no pump, and then it goes, kind of goes down, and it goes buy, and then dumps. And so it's, a lot of these were moving like that today. And I think it was more from short sellers than actual sellers themselves on the actual stock, just taking advantage of some of the market. But what I'm essentially looking for, right, is now RSI. I started adding RSI today. I haven't used RSI as much, but what I do like about it is it helps me predict when we can actually enter a bottom. And because whenever you see it kind of pulled to the bottom, it ends up pulling up at some point. So if you buy at these bases, they pull up at some point. Boom, right? And so once you start seeing it turn over, that's kind of a place that you could potentially sell, and then also where you could buy. And so as long as you're trying to get out before a big dump like this, like I would try not to be buying part of it is try not to buy right in the middle. What I've noticed to be the most effective is this is the breakout. You either buy right at the base of this and it kind of breaks out, and that's where the big shots are. So you kind of see like right through here, that's where it shoots. You can kind of see it, boom, there it shoots right when it breaks through. And then over here, it kind of shoots right when it breaks through. But you know, that's a little bit risk. This is when you're buying with emotion and you're buying with the psychological aspect of like where the half dollar, quarter dollar, and so I'm seeing that. And so, but the idea is I'm trying to enter trades better. So instead of just buying high and following the momentum up, it helps me get through choppy. It helped me get through choppy a lot today. It helped me reposition, you know, when the trade's going at, like, let's say it's 327, 327, 327, it goes 329, 329, and then it goes 331, and you're like, okay, it might be bumping. MACD's crossed over, we have Awesome Oscillator crossover, it has those, and I'm like, okay, all signs are good, and then it will, boom, it will drop like 5 cents, and it'll go like right back down to 320, you know, 323, 323, 325, and then you're stuck with the trade at 331, 332, and it's just consolidating right underneath it. And so then you're trying to hold on for dear life. And when I'm doing that, I would rather sell out and then try to reposition myself at like 323, 322, 321 when it kind of dips at that point. And so I've been using RSI in that aspect, because once I can get in a position where the second I buy, I can set a stop loss near break even, and I'm in a position where I feel so much more confident in the trade. And the first week I was doing my strategy was always solid. By theory, the strategy was working, but the problem was I was buying with slippage so much in positions where I didn't like. It happened to me a couple times today, but for the majority of the time, I was able to buy, you know, 2 cents underneath where it's consolidating. And that completely changed the trades for me, because when things would dump, I was able to actually see the movement come down a little bit early. So like if I was getting in on like a trade like an RSI, and let's see where's a huge flush, like a flush like this, right? Here's a big flush. I would try to be buying around here, right? And so I would see the red, and I would probably actually buy right after the red here. And then I would see it pull down right here. This is actually where the entry is. This is where the entry, the bottom of that candle here. So I'll pull in right here. The entry where I like to be entered is right here. Boom. I see consistency about the third one there. And so we're coming up. And so then I see. And so like MACD's getting closer and closer. I like it. Awesome Oscillator gives us the initial sell signal right here. Boom. Awesome Oscillator signals. So right when that happens, RSI signals too. That's where I'd be trying to get out. And that's all within a minute. So, you know, it happens quick. So it goes from like 62 cents, you know, to like, you know, 55 or so. That's where I'd be out. But that's where utilizing that RSI and Awesome Oscillator can help in all three of these. And so when I was trading today, I wasn't necessarily looking at charts as much as I was just looking at this, like a pilot looks at an instrumental rated. I was looking more at the Awesome Oscillator, MACD, and RSI. I don't think as many people use the Awesome Oscillator. I use it as like an early signal to tell us something that's a little bit more concrete. So red or green, right, type of thing. Like with the MACD, sometimes they're all lagging indicators, but it feels like the Awesome Oscillator tells me what's happening. Green, red, buy, sell type of thing, right? Where that movement's going. And so that essentially told us right before that flush came. So I was able to see that flush by comparing the three of my indicators together. It was, you know, sometimes one's green, one's red, one's green, and most of the time it's these two are moving together, and this one may be ahead and this one's right behind it. And so you can kind of see green, 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 then it turns green, right? And so like if you got back in with the Awesome Oscillator here, somebody makes a big move, you get in here, and then you see the MACD starting to converge, and it pulls, and I'd still be, I would probably right here, you see that sell period. Well, you might have honestly sold off right here, but through theory, I probably would have held all the way up until about here, right? So you can see it, and so there's the flush, right? That's a big move. That's a big move, though. That's, one person coming in and flushing it. So it's not necessarily going to just absolutely save you, but the thing about it is when you see this movement, but the RSI could tell us that it was kind of starting to pull down. So it's going near that peak, and if it didn't have momentum, so where I see this, when I read this one, now this is all arbitrary because I don't even know if I was actually in this exact trade. But when this moves up high, I'm seeing this, the way I'm thinking about this is basically this is moving, but I don't see volume. Like I see some volume here. And so then once it starts to die off without volume and I start to see this turn over, that's where that flush comes. So like this would scare me because this tells me essentially that we have resistance right at 450. And so you can kind of see that $4.50. That's where that psychological effect would be. Honestly, I like to sell like right before 450 or right after 450 or right after the dollar, quarter dollar, or half dollar, because the big orders, you can't get them filled if you wait after, and sometimes big orders will shoot right before it. And if you sell early, then you miss out on like another 15 cents sometimes. Because that peaked to 65, which you probably couldn't get filled to about 60 or so. And so if I had sold at like 48, 47, I probably could have held on to at least 55 pretty confidently, given the level of volume. But if I don't see volume, I like to sell earlier. If I see volume, if I see a lot of momentum, I like to sell a little bit further. And that's how I've been able to extrapolate. And sometimes between 2 or 3 trades, that's how I've been profitable, is maintaining that extra little gear. But all in all, the strategy's been working relatively very well. The only thing is I do not like to trade. The main thing is I do not like to trade a downtrend, and as anybody knows, that's going to be concurrent. So like this is where I would say this is starting to look a lot stronger right here. This is where I probably would have considered being in, and so I probably have been all through the choppy sales here, and then a big flush would come through. And so if I go through when I was actually trading with CFRX, let's actually see where I was at. CFRX, there were a lot of trades that went pretty well today. So we were in at, looks like CFRX around 1145. So like right around 1145, it looks like I got in right around here. And so that's where we were in, and it looks like we were, did I get out right? I was getting out at that point. It looks like CFRX, I was in. I'm trading with big volume too, so 25 right here. So I rode this here, then I think I flushed out at 44. Let me see. CFRX, I get out 47, so it looks like I got flushed. So I got flushed on that one. And that was very, very frustrating. Which one was it? PS or PRST? If we go PRST, we were in at, and so the problem is sometimes I stop going off of my strategy, but 463, ran at 463 at 1150, boom, 463 at 1150, held through choppy. I think it was rocky. It was a little rocky road there. And then I do believe we did hit this. We did hit that breakout. Let's see here. 1150. Where is that? PRST 1050. And we were in all the way through 12. Yeah, so we went through in 12. Did I sell early? Did I sell with momentum? We sold at 507 and 504. So 507 we got out at 507. So we wrote it about 40 cents. So six, and that was about 100,000 shares that we were rocking. And so we were it, and then I tried to get in on it again, and I don't know if this one got flushed. Did this one get flushed? Because where did the flush come? Right around 1210. So at 1210, I sold right at 1210. So I did sell at 1210, and then it crashed. I think I saw that movement, and then I didn't get in for 1215. Yes, so it crashed and I waited for it to get back. So I actually dodged that flush. And the way I dodged it was just by what we were saying, is with this. So as RSI was moving towards this peak, you can kind of see that movement. RSI is moving and it goes underneath. That's but then it starts to pull up a little bit, kind of gives it an early signal, and then that's the confirmation right there. When MACD crossed over, Awesome Oscillator actually, and you can see how it's not always perfect with Awesome Oscillator because it is lagging, but this basically was that initial buy was at 460 or so. So we were in, and it crosses right at the 1 minute. Now, if you look at the 5 with the MACD at the, what was it, 12 o'clock right around here, you can see that MACD right at that point. And so it's a short period. So I was holding up the 5-minute charts and the 1 minute charts to be concurrent. And so that's where it hits the top. You can see it hits the top of the RSI at the 5 minute, and then it flushes. And so that's something that I need to be a little bit more cautious on. And guys, remember, this is my journey. This is all simulated trading. I'm not saying that I'm the best trader or anything. These are my daily journals. These are my daily recaps. These are my daily logs. And this is what I've heard to be the best trader you possibly can. You have to daily log. You have to daily trade. You have to go through everything. But essentially, guys, what I'm looking at is I'm looking at the 1, I'm looking at the 5, and then very rarely do I go to the 15-minute charts. But I like to put them both up. And basically what I'm looking at is I'm looking at the 1 minute chart to be in and out as my actual trade, but I'm looking at the 5 minute charts to give me the confidence to go in with heavy shares. I've been trading with heavy shares majority of the time, but when I am concurrent and confident, I may wait 15 minutes before a trade and boom, and hit right when all that stuff lines up. But when all of it lines up is when I've been seeing the biggest pullouts. So like right here, you see RSI is low. Somebody buys in. Crossover here, crossover in the Awesome Oscillator. Minute later, boom, big shot. Now if you look at this at the 5 minute chart, you can probably say bottom of RSI. Now this is where it gets a little bit tricky with the MACD, because the MACD at the 5 minute chart didn't show. And so that's where sometimes I will take a judgment call. This is where I will take a judgment call, but I don't like to trade here. That's where judgment comes in, but I don't like to do that. The judgment essentially is saying, okay, because the MACD is a lagging indicator, and the idea behind this is as it starts to curl, sometimes that's the base. You can see that right here. That's the base, is right where those curls come in. You see how it curls? Look at the top of the chart. Look at the top up here, right where it curls with the MACD, and then it shoots, right? And so sometimes if you want to get that base trade, 335, did it consolidate again at 335? Yes, 1, 2, almost 2, 3 times almost it did, almost. But the thing about it is the base value comes right off that VWAP. So if you hit the VWAP and then it shot, but where did we see it from? We saw it essentially off the MACD. That one comes off the MACD on the curl. So once it starts to curl and you start seeing that strength pull in. So that's how I'm viewing it. That's just another day on our trading. And so my goal is, once I hit 1 million, we're gonna put money in, and we're gonna grind it from $500 and we're gonna keep grinding. So subscribe if you guys need help. And I don't know if I need help. I need help too. So it's a grind. These are my daily logs. Until next time, guys, remember, be smart, be safe. I am simulated trading. Nothing of what I'm trying to tell you is is going to make you millions and millions. What I'm saying is this is my daily logs. This is what I'm doing. This is how I've been profitable the past 4 days, and this is how I hope to continuously be profitable. And until next time, thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys tomorrow.